In 1090, Pope Honorius III declared an age of crusades against Muslim kingdoms. This was in direct response to the growing strength of the Umayyad Empire in Hispaniola and their occupation of French and Aquitaine lands. Pope Honorius III died and left the new pope, Lucius II, to take charge of Christian reconquests. His first action was to call all Christians into a grand holy war to reclaim Aquitaine. Meanwhile, King Loingsech of Ireland was busy trying to absorb the last resisting counties in England. The last couple of generations of the Horning dynasty saw the borders of Ireland stretch to include not only Northumbria, but Brittany as well. Strategic marriages saw the rise of the Horning family in a newly independent Duchy of Valois. Loingsech himself had a claim on the Kingdom of France, though the marauding forces of the Umayyad Empire had dealt it a heavy blow. Not seeing much benefit in joining the First Crusade, King Loingsech opted to stay out. However, he could use it as an advantage. With kingdoms like Burgundy, Middle Francia, and France itself distracted by the fighting, he saw an opportunity to press his claims. He quickly rallied forces against Burgundy and took their half of Brittany. Once he had proclaimed himself king of all of Brittany, he then set his sights on France. Already ravaged by the fighting, French armies were easily overcome. Nevertheless, a peasant woman named Laune the Maid came to the court of the king and offered her assistance. She proclaimed to be sent by God and that with her leading the Irish army, the enemies of Ireland would be vanquished. Despite protests from feudal lords, the king saw little harm in letting her lead. Laune proved to be the greatest warrior in Irish history, and with her help, however unnecessary, the king of France was forced to abdicate his throne. King Loingsech had become the king of Ireland, Wales, England, Brittany, and now France. However, this dominion was large and unwieldy. In order to tighten his grasp, he would have to let some lands go. As such, the Duchy of Brunswick was granted to the son of the Cathar Duchess of Essex. He didn't want to give land to heretics, but some arbitrary and infuriating law made him unable to give independence to a Catholic vassal. Spiritual conversations between the king and Laune after the French-Irish War caused Loingsech to become more zealous. He felt guilty for using the Crusades to further his own ends which decisively weakened the Christian war effort. He was likely the most powerful of the Catholic kings, and as such, his entry into the war would prove to be a major turning point. It was not to be, of course, as the king died before taking any action. Unfortunately, the inheritance laws of France were not yet in line with the laws of the rest of the realm. France had an elective monarchy which chose a King Liam, a distant relative of King Loingsech, though still in the Horning dynasty. The rest of the kingdoms were passed to Loingsech's firstborn son, King Coldub. The new king had no interest in the Crusade, which the Catholic forces lost shortly afterwards. With France slipping out of the Kingdom of Ireland, many asked if the treachery of Loingsech was ultimately pointless. They wondered if fighting for the future of Christendom would have been a better, nobler use of time. The legacy Loingsech left behind would prove to be controversial, but it did result in the Horning family line becoming thoroughly entrenched in French politics. For whatever that was worth.